The Sfas Emes has a very beautiful insight as to the nature of the Hanukkah candles, and I think that his insight really begins with us understanding the difference between Hanukkah candles and Shabbos candles. Of course, Shabbos candles we light every week. And when Chazal speak about Shabbos candles, there are two words that pop up as the significance and purpose, and that is Shalom Bayis, peace of the home. Now, usually when we throw the terms Shalom Bayis around, we end up thinking about peace between husband and wife, peace among the family. But here, when Chazal speak about Shalom Bayis, they're being very literal. Because before the advent of electricity, people didn't have a way to see if there weren't candles that were lit. And so we were to light candles for Shabbos, and these candles wouldn't only be lit where, like we eat, where we light candles, but these candles would be lit throughout the house wherever people needed to see, whether they needed to be sure to be safe so that they didn't trip and hurt themselves, or people needed to see each other, to be able to talk to each other, or to be able to even see what they were eating. The purpose of the Shabbos candles was clearly for us to be able to benefit from its light, which really is completely the opposite of the purpose of Hanukkah candles. In the little tefillah of Haneros Halalu that we recite as soon as we light candles, we say the words Ve'ein lanu reshus lehishtamesh bahem. We don't have permission, we're not permitted to use the Hanukkah candles as opposed to the Shabbos candles. Whereas when it comes to the Shabbos candles, I need to use their light. If I don't use the Shabbos candles light, then it's a bracha levatala. It's a wasted bracha. I didn't fulfill the mitzvah. As opposed to the Hanukkah candles, if I use its light, then I desecrated the mitzvah. And so the Haneros Halalu continues and says, Ela lir'osam bilvad. So what are we supposed to do aside for lighting the candles? The answer is supposed to just look at the candles. Which begs our question as to, what do we do when we're looking at the candles? What should our mindset be? What should we be thinking about? So the Sfas Emes explains that way back, when the miracle of Hanukkah took place, the challenge that the Jewish people faced was that there was a challenge to the spirituality of the Jewish community, a challenge to the very essence of the neshama, of the soul of a Jew, and that our spiritual lights were extinguished until Hashem introduced a new light into the world. The spiritual lights of the menorah that were rekindled, those lights represented a sense of spirituality that Hashem placed into the world to give people the opportunity to strengthen themselves on a spiritual level. And says the Sfas Emes that those spiritual lights left the world after the miracle of Hanukkah, but return every single year when we light Hanukkah candles. A new energy, a new opportunity for our neshamos, for our souls to be touched by spiritual light. And so as we sit and we continue to light our Hanukkah candles, as Hanukkah sort of winds down, we ask ourselves, what is it that we're going to take with us until we meet Hanukkah again next year? And the answer should be that we're going to take away some kind of spiritual growth. And I think it's incumbent upon all of us to ask ourselves, are we touched on some level by this celebration of Hanukkah on our spiritual side? Are we able to elevate ourselves practically on some level to a place that we haven't been from before Hanukkah started? Whether that means that we're more participatory when it comes to Torah learning, whether it means that we're thinking more about the mitzvos we do and that we're more cognitive and mindful of the mitzvos that we observe, to raising ourselves on a spiritual level so that the lights of Hanukkah continue to inspire us throughout the year. May we be zocheh, that we don't simply kindle the lights and walk away, but that we're able to peer into the lights, to peer into our souls, to harness the beautiful spiritual light that Hashem introduced into the world for our purpose, and to be able to grow through this Hanukkah to ensure that the flame within our soul doesn't simply flicker, but shines brightly throughout the year. Chanukah Sameach, and good Shabbos to all. Thank you for listening.